gents. How did you like that new intro? Thought it was pretty cool. Spent a day and a half doing it. And a solid day and a half. Lots of fun. I learned a hell of a lot. Anyways, let me tell you what's news around the world. Well, around the world. Let me tell you what's news around my world. First of all, I'd like to thank Stigler. Alan Dickerson. Stigler. You should check out his channel. Thanks, Stigler, for keeping out, man. Keep me on my toes. Phonetically or linguistically and morally. Thanks. It's like a family here, man. You know what I'm saying? I just had a conversation, a great conversation with Robert Carroll. Kilroy was here. That's his channel. And I'm trying to incorporate him, but he's a tough cookie. Guy's a lawyer. You know what I mean? He's like STUKAJOE. They read the fine print. But anyways, so what's going on in terms of event? There's BLASTPOP number 4. This is a con happening usually in Spain. And in a great region of Spain, they have some amazing Serrano ham there. Madonna mia. You know, it's tough not to love that ham. But anyways, it's starting, if I'm not mistaken, BLASTPOP is starting Friday. That means yesterday. Check out on their website. I'm going to put something up here. And I know STUKAJOE's going to be there. His thing is at 8:30 Europe time. So 6 hours ahead of me. Eastern time, that is. And he's going to be discussing his CDG method, amongst other things. And an hour before that, I'll be interviewing David Thompson, and this time on the behalf of Phalanx Games. Yep, I'm a pro now. So, I'll be introducing David Thompson, Yaro Andruskevich. He is the CEO of Phalanx. He might be there. I know maybe Adrian of Phalanx is going to be there. Anyways, this is all new. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Love David Thompson. He is the superstar. The rising superstar. Rising, man. He's risen, but he's still got the rise. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, basically. That's it for me. I know that this is becoming a little bit tedious, this staying in the house. But anyways, I don't even want to mention it. Guys, enjoy the show. There's some new releases. I'm going to check out some pre-orders, put it out there. And I'm going to give you your news where you want to know about playthroughs, reviews, and all kinds of stuff. Have a good show. Columbia Games and Kickstarter and Rommel in the Desert Enhanced. Rommel in the Desert in a beautiful format with a deluxe mounted map. So this has already reached its goal. There's 9 days left as of Wednesday, January 27th. Rommel in the Desert is a fast-moving, challenging, tense, and playable wargame based on the North Africa Desert Campaign of World War II. Check out the website, check out the Kickstarter site, and you'll see all the add-ons and all the stuff. I'm here to tell you, check out Columbia Games, Rommel in the Desert Enhanced. Compass Games and Coalition, the Napoleonic Wars, 1805 to 1815. This is a game designed by Javier Garcia de Gabiola. Coalition is a quick-playing grand strategy game with operational elements that could recreate all the Napoleonic Wars in just one evening. And what you get with this game is one map 22 by 34 inches mounted, 2 counter sheets, 3 decks of 56 playing cards, a rule booklet, multiplayer aid cards, 6-sided dice, and a box and a lid. Complexity is 6 out of 10, solitaire suitability is 5 out of 10, the time scale is 1 year per turn, the map scale is country to country grand strategic level. Unit scale, armies are 30 to 50,000 men per strength point, and fleets are 15 to 25 ships. Yeah, I said that. Ships per strength point. Players are 2 to 4, playing time 4 to 6 hours. Legion War Games and your chance to change history. Prairie of Flames, 2nd edition, The Northwest Rebellion of 1885 by Mark Voloshin. This is an operational treatment of Canada's Northwest Rebellion of 1885. The Métis, half native and half European, set up a provisional government to try and gain recognition of their concerns with the federal government in Ottawa. This is my land, people. And the game details are: you get a 22 by 34 inch map, you get 264 counters, a rule book, 24 pages in color, 3 player aid sheets, the scenarios, 3 battle scenarios and 3 campaign scenarios. The map scale is 11 miles per hex, unit size are battalions, time scale 1 week per turn. This is a 1 to 2 player game. Complexity is medium, solitaire suitability is medium-high.
Hello, this is Carlo Mazzini, and this time the greatest day in history and games is February 4th, 1945. The day when, during the greatest war of mankind, 3 men gathered in a town in Crimea to define what the world would like after that war. The first day of the Yalta Conference. The conference, codenamed Argonaut, was just one in a long series of meetings between the 3 great Allied leaders fighting against the Axis powers of Germany, Japan and Italy in World War II. Those meetings had proved to be necessary because, contrary to the exterior appearances, the Allied powers were not so united, had the diverging geopolitical interests in the various areas touched by the war, and had to carefully coordinate their global strategies. The first conference, Eureka, had been held in Tehran in 1943 and had seen the US and the United Kingdom agree to the Soviet Union request of opening a second front in France, but only at the last moment and after long discussions. After Eureka, D-Day had stormed the beaches of Normandy in the west, and with a simultaneous Operation Bagration, the Red Army had gained a substantial breakthrough in the east. In 1945, then, Germany was on the brink of total collapse. Japan was defending a never-shrinking perimeter. Italy had surrendered and was embroiled in a bitter civil war between fascist forces in the north and co-belligerent formations in the south. But once again, the 3 allies, US President Roosevelt, British Prime Minister Churchill, and the Soviet President Stalin, had much to discuss during Argonaut. The imminent victory in the field would soon pose serious problems for the following peace: the general balance of power in the world, the real possibility of a new future conflict between the allies themselves, with even more destructive consequences. The situation was difficult. The United States pushed for the creation of an international organization much stronger than the former League of Nations. The United Kingdom wanted to preserve its colonial empire. The Soviet Union needed to get out of its pre-war diplomatic isolation and to consolidate its hold on Eastern Europe. A very dangerous political stalemate was a distinct possibility. In the end, President Roosevelt found a compromise with Stalin. Even if Poland would be granted free and democratic elections, Germany would be partitioned between the winning powers, and a great area of Soviet influence in East Europe would be established. The Soviet Union would finally declare war on Japan, and the new United Nations would be instituted. The United Kingdom was probably the great loser of the conference, and after that Churchill gave his famous speech about the creation of a great divide between East and West in Europe. The Iron Curtain was born. So many strategic games about World War II have faithfully recreated the military aspect of the conflict up to the smallest detail, but few have focused on the fascinating political, diplomatic, and even personal relationship between Roosevelt, Churchill, and Stalin. Few games except Churchill, of course. In Churchill, the military operations are greatly abstracted in some simple tracks where you will record the status of the various fronts. But war in the field is not the focus of Churchill. The game is actually divided in various conferences all during the war, where the three leaders will struggle discussing various issues like military support, when and where to conduct great operations, global topics like decolonizations or the new United Nations. All the while, the failures will also conduct a secret conflict between themselves, planting clandestine networks and new governments, sowing the seeds for a future division of the world. But you have to be careful in your dealings, knowing when to take and when to give away, because the war against the Axis can still be lost or at least not totally won, and if you undermine the future balance of the world, you will have just gained a future war, not the result that the world is waiting for. So, that's it for this time. See you on the next battlefields. Ciao!
A game for gamers, made by gamers, by Flying Pig Games.
The chief of Bonding with Board Games has a couple of videos out. The first one being a live interview with John Kranz from Console World. Also, he reviews Red Alert, Space Fleet Warrior from Plastic Soldier Company, a game designed by Richard Borg on the Command and Colors system. Rough Swordsman Wargamer continues his playthrough part 2 of Victory Games' Tokyo Express, the Guadalcanal Naval Campaign, 1942. Also, Rough Swordsman checks out a game called CELO, the German invasion of Britain, 1940. I think he's wrong. I don't think the Germans invaded Britain. Oh well. And do not discount the expertise and experience of a man that they call the Podfather. Now, Stephen Bonacore was president of Stronghold Games. He's since retired. And he will be one of the expert panelists on The Game Pitch, a show which I'm trying to get off the ground. Trying, that is, and I will succeed. Also, Stephen Bonacore, good guy Stephen Bonacore, his expertise cannot be undermined. This man is a wealth of information if you want to know anything about the business of publishing board games, and more so. Check out the Podfather, and on this episode, he's got Ignacy Chavicek from Portal Games, which is another brain in the publishing aspect. And for our Spanish-speaking audience, Julius Fairfax takes a look at GMT's Caesar, Rome vs. Gaul. Bare Bones Wargaming checks out Fires of Midway. He's reviewing that game by, if I'm not mistaken, Clash of Arms. Bare Bones also checks out the Conquistadors, the Spanish conquest of the Americas 1518 to 1548. He is unboxing this game published by Compass Games. And you want to know about miniatures, board games, and the media? Wardy Rogue plays World War II. Check out how much content this guy's got. Look, the Hugh Hefner of war games. If you want to know about painting miniatures, learning certain bolt action style stuff, well, check out Wardy Rogue. And ID Jester and Rough Swordsman Wargamer are together shellacking Mo of Mo's Game Table in an interview. Plus, ID Jester checks out a Mail from Lock and Load Publishing. And also for you wargamers that like to take 13-minute chunks of a movie at a time, check out Dead Sounds. I'll say it again, the website is Dead Sounds, Immortal Machine, dystopian animated short film. And the Grognard of 2020, Jim Ozarski, continues his Leipzig 13 for Blücher. And he says we're done here. I'm assuming that's the end. Also, he gives a thank you to No Enemies Here. Thank you, Jim. And John Krantz is getting the 3rd degree from Mo, Kevin, and Nate from Whiskey Charlie episode 20. Special guest, obviously, John Krantz. Mo of Mo's Game Table takes a look at North Cape convoy battles in the Arctic 1942 to 1945 from Strategy and Tactics magazine number 292. This is a preview. And the gentlemen of the Players Aid, Grant and Alexander, have 2 videos out. The first one being the 10,000 subscriber giveaway. Now, we're wargamers, we're a small family, and 10,000 of you guys subscribe to this guy, to the Players Aid? Fantastic. Come and subscribe to my channel sometimes, huh? Okay, so, second video is unboxing Next War Vietnam from GMT Games. And check out the Cane Master, Marco Omni Gamer, checking out Napoleon 1807, La Campagne de Pologne. JK War Games gives us the Black Powder Battle Report. Black Powder Battle Report versus Miles. That is JK versus Miles. BLASTPOP takes a look at Flying Colors 3rd edition upgrade kit from GMT. And Tony of Tony's Board Game Life, I should say Tony's Board Life, he checks out, he's got some mail, and he checks out what's in the box. Well, I don't want to tell you, check it out. Wars of the World has a video out on Blood and War, the rise and fall of the Viking Empire. Check this guy out, man. It's history for us.
Hello all. Why are we looking at a door? Or more specifically, a doorknob? Well, now for something completely different. I'm letting you in on my inner sanctum of games. This is where the magic happens. Ugh, don't like that intro. And that's what this is. This is an intro to a segment that my friend at No Enemies Here, Dan, wanted me to try out. This is going to be called Kilroy Goes Off the Shelf. And in order to go off the shelf, I need to show you the shelf. This is my war game library. And actually, this room is where I keep most of my games. I have a few niches and caches strewn throughout the house in case of emergency. But this is where I keep most of my games, and this is where I play a lot of my games, either solo or with my family, most notably my son. So as part of this segment, I'm going to pull a game off the shelf and talk about it. I'm going to discuss aspects of the game, or do an unboxing, or do an exploration like I've been known to do, or just whatever comes to my mind. Dan is really taking a risk, leaving that up to my own devices. But I'm showing this because I like to know your comments. Looking at my game library, what interests you? What do you want me to pull off the shelf? What do you want me to talk about? These are most of my war games. I have a few others, and if you want to see my complete list, I would take a look at my collection on Board Game Geek under NAP 16. That's where my collection's at, and you can take a look at anything on there and let me know what you're interested in. Now, this is my war game collection, most of it, and this is where This is probably what I'll be talking about on this segment for No Enemies Here. But as you can see, I have a lot of other games to talk about, but probably not in this segment. This is where I kind of have somewhat of an organization to this. There is a method to the madness, and I emphasize the word madness. But this is an introduction and not an intervention, so please control your comments. There's a little bit of snow on the ground today. And so it goes on. As I said, I have a lot of games that are outside the wargaming hobby. But that's where I started. I started with the wargaming hobby and have expanded mightily over time. And actually, my first introduction to some of the more complex games came through role-playing, and here's my role-playing corner where I keep some of my role-playing stuff. But there you have it. That's my collection. This piece is Kilroy Goes Off the Shelf. Let me know what you like to see. If I don't hear anything, you're just going to leave it up to me to come up with it. So I would make some comments. I want to thank Dan for giving me the opportunity to try this. We'll see how it works out. We'll see if Dan gets censored. In any event, as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy it. And I need to start working on my first installment. Bye-bye.
Jan Hein novel Let's Play History. Yeah, I think I'm getting a cold. Jan has about 200,000 videos out this week playing a couple of new games. I've got some games here called Ludwig der Jüngere. And also, he continues playing Fields of Glory 2 and Fields of Glory Empire. I mean, this guy is a monster. Liz of Beyond Solitaire gives us her opinion on 3 solo war games to start with. GIMPY of the GIMPY Gamer does a intro to a game that is interesting to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people, a game that is going to be published by Lock and Load, and that is designed by Sean Drulinger, which is a upfront type thing, but not point blank. Check it out, man. And for our Italian-speaking friends, Mauro Faina plays the Gioco il Magazine. Actually, he's taking a look at Gioco Magazine, an Italian wargaming magazine, and number 35, and he takes a look. Counterattack continues his playthrough of Ukraine 43, a game published by GMT, designed by Mark Simonich. The Soviets continue their assault, expanding their breakthrough as the Germans struggle to close the gap. Part 4, ladies and gentlemen. And Combat Board Games is looking at miniature wargaming rulebook, Micro Mini Basics Plus Advanced Core Rules. Check it out, and guys and girls, please subscribe to Combat Board Games.
Hey folks, it's ARDWULF. Welcome. I regret to inform you that due to the perfidious Dan Pencaldi, you're only going to get half as much ARDWULF'S Lair action on this week's No Enemies Here. Stern letters of protest have been filed. On Monday, we went live with the counter-clipping stream. Our topic this week was, are today's wargames just better than wargames of yesteryear? I personally land on the space that says probably not, but a lively discussion was had with the chat. For Traveler Tuesday, we did some more sector exploration, also as a live stream, which was an experiment on my part. I don't think we'll be repeating that if I can avoid it. We did some more development on the Pisces Threshold sector, which is a sector of my own design for a future Traveler game yet to be scheduled. And on Thursday, we unwrapped C3I Magazine issue number 34. This is the latest issue of C3I Magazine from RBM Studios and contains the game Kursk, The Tigers Are Burning, from designer Trevor Bender. And there's a number of other attractive interactive goodies in the magazine as well. Once I've finished shaking my fist at Dan on Sunday, we'll be resuming live play with the game US Civil War from GMT Games and designer Mark Simonich. This will be a learning game, so if you're interested in learning how to play this very good game, please check it out. It will be starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and will run for approximately 2 hours. On Monday, we're going to have another counter-clipping stream at 8 p.m. Eastern, so tune in for that. The topic this time around will be the interface between war games and role-playing games, using Traveller as our most notable example. And then on Traveller Tuesday, we're going to take a flip-through the new Aliens of Charted Space Volume 2. We've already provided a flip-through of Volume 1, so let's see what Volume 2 has to offer. And on Thursday, we're going to be unboxing The Dogs of War. This is the latest release from Thin Red Line Games in their C3 series. It's the follow-up to the very well-regarded Less Than 60 Miles and can be linked with that game. Join me next week in writing angry letters to Dan about his dreadful omission in this week's No Enemies Here. Until next time, happy wargaming.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions review, the punk rock band of wargame review institutions. On YouTube, the first video I did last week was a video on a bunch of games that I bought through my website. I have a buy list on my website, and I also sometimes buy in bulk. But anyhow, here's some of the ones I bought. AD&D Battle System, Greyhawk Adventures. This one I actually bought locally, Belter. And these two I bought locally, USN from SPI and Minuteman. Minuteman's missing the rules, but you can print those out online. And then I did a first look video of Belter. Looks like a really interesting game where you're mining the asteroids and stuff. Looks like there's a potential for combat too, but according to my friend I bought this from, in like the 2-player version, there's not too much combat, but if you have more players, then you're more likely to have combat. As far as the review I did on my website this week, it's Across Suez, the Battle of the Chinese Farm from October 15th, or excuse me, on October 15th, 1973. It's from Decision Games. It's a box game, but it plays kind of like a micro game, and what's cool about it is the Egyptians can actually win. Most Arab-Israeli games, the Israelis nearly almost win, so it's refreshing that the opposing forces can win. And last thing I did on YouTube was the Chronicles of Davis, episode number 6. That's my solitaire D&D campaign. In this episode, Davis and his band of misfits took Maggie, who had been injured in such a way that her intelligence dropped to 0. They went looking for either a witch doctor or a cleric to try and cure her, because right now she's a vegetable. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon on our website and on our YouTube channel. Have a good evening.
Wayne Hansen is on a video tear, a playthrough tear, and an unboxing tear. With 3 videos, the first one being his Let's Play, which is his playthrough, a complete playthrough of Lock and Load Publishing's Space Infantry Federation. Also, his unboxing and unbagging of C3I's latest magazine, number 34, Roger B. McGowan, and also a complete playthrough of Firebase Vietnam. Dad vs. Son continues his playthrough of Stalingrad 42. This is take 2 of the Caucasus campaign, a game designed by Mark Simonich, published by GMT. Ben Harsh of Harsh Rules breaking down board games. Ben Harsh takes a look at or unboxes Sekigahara from GMT. I personally think this is one of the prettiest war games around. Plus, Ben does part 2 of The Bulge, a fast-action battle game, reinforcements, and admin phase. Check Ben out. Lock and Load Publishing with the beautiful voice of Devin Heinel, the OG, the original Grognard, takes a first look at Bougainville, the Forgotten Campaign. And Matt White, the Wargame Artists, does a review on an expansion of Memoir 44 called Winter Wars Expansion, the Ardennes Offensive. The man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, finishes off his playthrough of Central America and gives us a review. Compass Games with episode 48 join John Krantz, who is featuring an interview with Javier Garcia de Gabiola, designer of Coalition, the Napoleonic Wars, 1805 to 1815. The Mary and Tom Show, episode 121, where they talk about same version of games that folks did, and he was firing on all cylinders. I'm just reading what's there. That's what is said.
Howdy, howdy. I'm Jeff McLear from thegaminggang.com, and Il Duce was kind enough to invite me to share my pick for Game of the Week. And I was happy to comply because we have been having a great time with Crusader Kingdoms from Worthington Publishing. It's designed by Jesus Peralta. And the cool thing about this is it is not a traditional hex and counter sort of affair. So this will be a very appealing title for gamers out there who may not be well-versed in wargaming or conflict sims. It is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, although I gotta be honest, the rules aren't that difficult to wrap your head around, so you could probably go as low as maybe 11 or 12, as long as the kids aren't putting small pieces in their mouths, which I would think most 11 and 12-year-olds aren't. And it does play in about 30 to 90 minutes, closer to 90, about 60 to 90 minutes if you have a full complement of 4 players. This is a lot of fun. So as I mentioned, it's not your traditional hex and counter affair. It is area control. There is hand management. There are event cards. It is a card-driven game, which I really, really like. It's very respectful to the history of the Crusades. I also appreciate that as well. And one of the nice aspects, too, is it's for 1 to 4 players. You can play it solitaire, you can play it with 2 players, and you can play it 3 or 4 players, and there's a bit of co-op in the 3 and 4 player games. Also, depending on the number of players, will determine what crusade you actually play. So that's very unique as well. Really, really do enjoy Crusader Kingdoms. This is certainly my pick for Game of the Week, and I will have a full review of the game over on the Gaming Gang later on this week. Back to Dan.
Another week, another show. Man, this week went by fast. That's a good thing. That means things are moving on the up and up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the show. Makes me very happy. Please subscribe. Please like. You know what? I feel like doing something. When we have 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna do a massive giveaway. How's that? And please, support this channel. It really helps. You see, things are moving. Not as quickly as you think they would be, but they are. So that's good. Anyways, people, have a good weekend. Check out Bayot.com. It's happening right now. STUKAJOE's going to be there. I have an interview at 11 o'clock Eastern Time in the morning with David, the Kid Thompson. I always have a great time with David. And, well, I'll see you next week. with some more improvements, and I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.